What's going on, you bunch of heretics? Grab your paint pots, grab your recaf, and let's get some paint on that ever-growing pile of potential. It's here. The Heresy is my therapy. SlapChop / speed painting tutorials. Combat Patrol magazine is here, and we have the winged Tyranid Prime. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called anyway. We're going to do it in the Behemoth colour scheme. I like the black and the red. I think it's a really cool and quite haunting look for the Tyranids. I know we've had a previous video in the past about how to paint these, but today we've got a little bit more in-depth colour theory and how we're going to make these really, really pop. So yes, it's the winged Tyranid Prime, a lovely looking model from the Combat Patrol magazine. So yes, I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully you find this video rather useful. Anyway, as always, everything you need will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's get to it. Right, here he is, the Tyranid Prime, winged Tyranid Prime, good to go. Based in Chaos Black, of course. We've got our paint pot, we've got our palette, and we've got our selection of dry brushes to get our painting underway. First things first, guys, as always, Administratum Grey. This is going to be a long-winded one, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to take some time, so just be patient with it, keep applying the layers, you know the routine, nothing's going to change with our initial SlapChop base. You know what we're going to do, we've been doing it for ages now, guys, it's not going to change. Administratum Grey, as I say before, get some on your brush, and then you're going to take all of it off. Take it all off, all off, all off. Remember, small circles. You're going to use a different amount of brushes for this, guys, I'm not going to lie. I've got my large medium, I've got my large dry brush, a medium dry brush, my flathead dry brush, just so I can get in everywhere, because this is a big model and it's going to take a while. It's going to take you a good solid, probably a good 10 minutes to get this first brush on. And you're just building and building and building those layers, as we always do on these videos, guys, okay? Small circles everywhere, getting every single nook and cranny that you can with this. It's going to be difficult getting in some of those hard to reach places, so maybe even if you want to do it unassembled, you can do. But again, different various brushes, small circles all over the model, and get it absolutely everywhere with your Administratum Grey, okay? 3 layers of this, no problems, okay? And of course, we get our clean dry brush, and we're just going to take off all of that excess dust. Dusty paint, get it all off there. Dusty paint off, we're going to get our Orthran Grey applied. I'm using my flat head here. Again, it's just a bit of variation in the dry brushes. And again, remember, when we're using this, we're doing where all the light would touch, okay, guys? So again, we're just feathering it on where all the light would touch, just to really give a nice sort of zenithal. Is it a zenithal? I think it's, you know, I keep saying this week in, week out, I never know. We're just doing the Heresy is my therapy SlapChop base. That's right, we're branding it ourselves. But yes, where all the light would touch, guys, and all those light areas that you want to have a little bit more pop on the model, that's where we're going to go with this. And again, 2 layers of our dry brushing with Orthran Grey is probably what we're going to go with here, guys, okay? 2 layers of this, we should be good to go, all right? But again, just getting absolutely everywhere where the light would touch, and just build it up, build it up, and build it up. Like I say, 2 layers. Okay, this process, okay, yeah, I know we want it done straight away, but we're just taking a bit of time with this, you know? We're making it quick, but we want to make it a bit more detailed as well. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So yes, Orthran Grey, where the light touches, good to go. And then of course we're going to get our clean dry brush again and just take off all that excess dusty paint. Ready for our next layering. with that applied, we're gonna grab our Corax White or White Scar, whichever one you prefer. I've gone with my Corax White here. Just so you guys can see in different videos, you're kind of pretty much getting the same effect with the variation of white. And again, I'm using a smaller dry brush here, and same again, just small circles, just really on those real finer edges where the light would touch, just to really help make that model pop and shine. Okay guys, remember, small circles, nice little bit of detail in there, and we'll be good to go. And like I say, you want a couple of layers to really make that white really kind of pop across the model range, okay? Just getting absolutely everywhere the light would touch. And if you want to go a little bit deeper every now and then just to give it more contrast, then go for it, all right? And then next, of course, you know the routine, guys. Good old clean dry brush, and just get all that excess dusty paint off, and that will be our Tyranid Prime ready to go. Ooh, he looks mean, doesn't he? Okay, as always, we're going to apply your base here. You know, whatever technical base you wanna have on. Me, I've just got that. That like it's like a mud. I've talked about it before, where you basically place this on, keep it on quite thick, because then it will crust up like a desert, a nice desert effect, which is what I want to give these. And again, apply it all on here, and then as we're doing the model, this will just dry as you're going through. All right, and it'll be ready for the tabletop quite nicely. Right, skeleton horde. Either a medium or large layer brush for this, and again, you don't need your Lamian medium for it either, but again, you want a nice, a bit more of a bigger brush. I've got from the Techlon Tiger range, this is a bit more of a, this is the larger basing brush that they give you. So a large base brush or a medium layer brush, a large layer brush, and basically from the pot to the palette. And all we're gonna do is on the wings and on the kind of skin of the model, we're just gonna throw this on there. Okay, nice big broad brushes, move the paint around, don't let it pool, and you're gonna do, again, 2 thin coats of this, because this is gonna be like an underlayer to the other layers that we're gonna apply to this, okay? It's big, it is messy, it does take a bit of time, and like I say, the reason why this model might take a bit longer than expected is just because it's just drying times, okay? But all those areas where the skin, the wings, if you get a little bit on the exoskeleton, it doesn't really matter too much. But with this paint, we're just getting it in all of those areas. Again, 2 thin coats of this is all you're going to need. With that done, I'm going to get my Lamian medium, open it up, boop. There we go, easy as that. State of my hands, honestly. And then I am going to grab my Pterodon turquoise, because while that skeleton horde is drying, we're now going to apply the Pterodon turquoise on the exoskeleton. So all the armor plating, the hooks, the claws, the blades, that is where we are going to apply our Pterodon turquoise. It's a very easy color scheme, this. Very simple, not a lot of effort required, and great for you horde players. Again, I've got my larger layering brush for this, and as we say here, all we're going to do is just straight onto those areas where the exoskeleton, so the big horn on his head, the plating everywhere, the chest plating, and again, 2 thin coats of this is all you're going to need. And as you can see, it just really sits in quite nicely. It's going to look messy to start with, but as you'll see it as we go along, it will just sit, it will just dry nicely. 2 thin coats, okay, remember, it's a bit more of a 2-to-1 or 1-to-1 Pterodon turquoise to Lamian medium with this, guys, all right? Take your time with it, just get it all on there, on all the tips, all the claws, just all those bits that you want, that kind of black armor work, if you will. Yeah, like I say, two thin coats is really all you're gonna want for this, guys, okay? Okay, with that applied, we're now going to get our dark oath flesh. Apologies for it not quite focusing there, but we're going to get our dark oath flesh, and this is what we're going to put into the wings of the model. Okay, so dark oath flesh just onto our palette, and again we're using our medium brush. A little bit of Lamian medium in there as well. Again, we're looking at a bit more of a 3-to-1 mix of this, because dark oath flesh is relatively thin, and all we're doing, we're applying this straight into the wings. Okay, the wings of the model. Okay, so you'll see that prominent gap between the spines, and we're just inside the wings and outside. And again, 2 thin coats of this is all you're really going to need to give those wings that kind of fleshy-ish, grim dark, fleshy look. It'd be quite a gritty, as you can see from the thumbnail and from the opening clip of the video. But again, we are just layering this up. 2 thin coats is all you're going to need for this, okay? And again, use your larger brush, just move the paint around. It's not really a very neat process, this, I will be honest with you. You can be a bit rough with it. Okay, next up we've got our Magma Drop Flame. You guys know I love Magma Drop Flame. What a vibrant colour, and works so well on SlapChop and really prepares models ever so nicely. So, Magma Drop Flame in hand, and also where we're going to prep the kind of like the exo skin of the model to get that Hivefleet Behemoth look. Okay, so straight away guys, I'm just pretty much just straight into it. We haven't got to really thin this down, although it is a thin coat because of the wet palette. But again, we're just placing this onto those areas where we've applied the skeleton horde onto. Again, 2 thin coats of this, and we're just building it up. All right, and as you can see, we're just starting to see the model, that Hivefleet Behemoth color scheme, taking shape really, really nicely. Again guys, it's a larger model, it is going to take a little bit more time, but again, good set of contrast paint, and of course with that Magma Drop Flame just settling in nicely into all those pieces. The skin of the winged prime is what we're trying to get here. Okay, so along all the spines of the wings, the tail, all of it. Just again, just be smooth with it. You can use a larger brush, it'll be absolutely fine. As you can see here, I'm using a larger brush. No need for anything too technical. And if you've got too much paint on there, we just take it off with the brush, or just move it around. Okay, just move it all around. And again guys, you know, you're looking at 2 thin coats of this at absolute most. All right, just nice and easy with that brush, and just getting it everywhere with that Magma Drop Flame. Whoa, look at that. Okay, next we're going to get our shyish purple. And again, the mix will also come into play later on as well, so don't worry. This mix will come into play later on for some other bits and pieces, but for the time being, place it on our palette. A little bit of Lamian medium in there as well. You're probably looking at about a 2-to-1 ratio really here. Okay, but again, a bit more of a if you want to, it's better to go thinner than thicker. And all we're going to do is we're just popping this just into the wings, just to really kind of give it a bit more of a fleshy-ish alien winged look. Okay, just over that dark oath flesh, but again, just a thin layer, nothing wild, just a very thin glaze of that shyish purple mixed in with that Lamian medium. All right, as you can see, it looks wet, doesn't it? But yes, just one thin layer is all you're going to need, and that will sit in nicely. With that applied, we're now going to get our Flesh Tearers red, and this is now we're going to get that sort of red, that richness on the skin of the model. Okay, and again, I'm still using a thicker brush. You know, it hasn't got to be, it's not nothing too neat. Okay, again 2-to-1 mix of our Flesh Tearers Red and Larmium Medium, and all we're going to do, we're going to take that, and all those areas that we've applied the Magma Jar Flame to, we're now just going to apply a generous helping of Flesh Tearers Red over the top, and that will just sit in those creases really, really nicely. And again, it won't give it such a pink hue. It will give it like a nice, deep, rich red, like we did with our Flesh Tearers model the other week. And like I say, we're applying this almost like a shade, going all over those areas we applied the Magma Jar Flame to. And the beauty of it is, if it gets into some of the creases of other parts, to be honest with you, you're not really going to notice too much, in all fairness. All right, so don't worry too much about neatness here. We're just getting that nice layer of that Flesh Tearers Red. You know, 2 thin coats of this is more than enough for this, and it will dry with a really nice deep red richness. Again, your biggest problem when painting this model is drying times. It just won't dry enough. It just won't dry quick enough for you to be able to move on. So batch painting is going to be perfect. Okay, that old mix of shinish purple that you had before, you're just going to place that over the tongue and in all the mouth over there. Easy as that, nothing wild. But just use that old mix. Okay, next we're going to get our Black Templar. Guys, we are flying through this. Yes, and as you can imagine, we are going to apply 2 thin coats of our Black Templar mixed with Larmium Medium, a good old 2-to-1 mix. And we're going to place this, again, like we did with the Flesh Tearers Red, we're going to place this over the Pterodon Turquoise. 2 thin coats, just to kind of darken that exoskeleton armor work, okay? Remember, we're not after edge highlights here, we're creating a nice grim dark effect on the model. Oh, dropped it like an idiot. Do I edit that bit out? No, absolutely not. Because we're all human, guys, we all make mistakes. Anyway, like I say, no need to be neat here, just get it on that model. It's all nice and thin. Okay, so you can move the paint around and add more layers, darken it if you want to. Don't just go straight from the part. Don't just like not thin it down, okay? It needs to be thinned down with Larmium Medium, 2-to-1 Black Templar Larmium Medium, and just getting it into all of those areas we've applied the Pterodon Turquoise to. And again with this, if it goes on a little bit of the red, it doesn't matter, okay? It will just sit in the depths, in those crevices, really nicely, and it won't really affect the model too much, all right? So again, move the paint around. 2 thin coats is what I've gone with here, and as you can see, it's just taken that turquoise edge off just a little bit. Okay, Black Legion. So this is what we're going to apply now into the kind of those little recess areas, so in the joints of the wings, in the joints of some of the arms, and those kind of like inside, like the inside skin of the side skin, if that makes sense. You'll notice it on the armor, but basically between the gaps, in the creases, and just those little like vents in the arm, I suppose you could say, little like cuts but aren't cuts. Very odd thing, but the very Tyranid thing. Okay, and all you're doing is just getting that Black Templar just in those areas. Okay, again, I'm using a small brush here. I'm using the Siege Studios #1 from the Series S range, and again, a little bit just add a little bit of depth into the blades if you want to, just underneath that curvature. And anywhere you want to add a bit more depth into the model, so in some of the joints, some of the recesses, maybe you want to just add it just into some of the exoskeleton parts, you can do. That's all I've done here really, okay? You don't have to, but it's just something that you can do. All right, just to kind of really make the model pop just that little bit more. You know, and again, if you want to go inside, like I say, in all those little gaps and the joints, add this black in here and it will just really darken everything up nicely. But again, be thin with it, add a bit of Larmium Medium to your mix. Don't go straight from the pot because you'll just undo a lot of the hard work you've just done, okay? Okay, once that's all dried, you know the routine now, guys. It's time for that Zandri dust, and we're almost there. Like I say, this is a very quick and easy, minimal amount of paint required for this miniature. Remember, guys, with the final dry brush that we do here on Here Is My Therapy SlapChop tutorials, we get the Zandri dust, we get it on the brush, we take it all off the brush, and we feather dust this on. Remember, take as much of it off as you can, and then very, very gently apply some on the base, and then we get to work on the model. Remember this, guys. Slowly, 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 okay? Gentle feathering, literally next to no pressure. You will just see a very faint amount of change on the model as you're doing this, okay? So just ensure it's very, very light. When you think you're all off the brush, just keep going a little bit further, then add some more paint to the brush, take it all off, and feather dust it, okay? I cannot stress enough, this is so light, okay, so light, but it will just take away the blotchiness of the model, as you can see it slowly changing there, okay? Okay, with that done, we're going to grab our Shyish Purple, and all we're going to do is just go over the tongue once more. Okay, so Shyish Purple, back into our old mix. And like I say, all we're doing with this is we're just popping it onto the tongue and around the mouth. Okay, nice and easy, nothing wild here. Super, super easy, nice and light. Get that purple tongue and a bit around the mouth and stuff as well. Ready to consume the biomass. Next, you're going to grab either your white scar or Corax white, and all we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of that Corax white or white scar, whichever you want. Grab yourself a small layer brush. That's all you need for this, and all we're going to do is quite literally, I'm again using the one in the series S range from Artis Opus, and just a little boop right there on both sides, okay, into the eyes. Next, you're going to grab your Iron Dan Yellow, and again, call me crazy here, guys, but all we're going to do is where we've created those little white dots on the eyes, as you can see there, we're just going to grab our Iron Dan Yellow, take it off, and just basically just go over the eyes to give it a nice yellowy hue. Gives that scary look. Nice. Nice and gentle, nice and easy. And there he is, guys. So all I've done is I've just added some blood for the blood god over areas of the model that I liked, and added my little bits of rock and grass. And again, you can base yours whatever theme you're going with for your model. So yeah, there you are. That is the Tyranid Prime from the latest Combat Patrol, and we hopefully that you found this video useful. If you have, give us a like, give us a subscribe, the usual YouTube jargon, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you for your support. Bye bye.